Okay, so now I'm going to show you how the MIDI stuff is programmed, especially the strings. So this is the violin part of that song. So here is the part. See? So this violin part is being played by the Vienna Symphonic Library, otherwise known as VSL. It's been around for years, and I love it. I still use it. I've been using it since my very first medley. So here we have the violin patch loaded, and you see it gives us tons of articulations from staccato, détaché, legato, sforzando, tremolo, pitch, trills. We have everything we need here. And we have this extremely handy thing called an expression map, this articulation dynamics thing here. So all the stuff you have here, you can also find here, you see. Legato is here, the PIDs, everything. And it's actually pretty simple to program these articulations. For example, so let's say I don't have anything here. I'm just gonna delete that stuff. I want these, like this run, to be played legato. All I need to do is this. And then I play it. And you see this tells VSL to play it legato. And I want this note here to be tremolo. I only need to do this. And just look here, and it's going to switch to tremolo when it hits that C5. See? And this is basically how it works. What it actually does is it makes it easy to use key switches thanks to this really cool interface. Let's say I want this to be like a major trill instead. I only need to tick that box. It's magical. Minor trill. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't work in the first try. Okay. Minor trill. And this is how all of my MIDI tracks are done. See, it's pretty simple. Let's check another section. Okay, so here's another interesting part with several articulation changes. We have staccato, sforzando, legato, and here's how it sounds. Sounds pretty cool, huh? But the thing is, for some of these string parts, I wanted to have someone double them so that they sounded, more human. And I had the pleasure of having PATTI RUDISSILL record those string parts for me. Now, PATTI is one of my favorite violinists on YouTube. She recently did this brilliant cover of Ray's theme from Star Wars 7. And she arranged it as if it was like the movement of a violin concerto, which I think was extremely well done. And so she basically recorded that part you're seeing here. I had that MIDI part transcribed into sheet music, which I sent to her with a backing track. And here's how it sounds with her playing on top of it. And so I did the same thing for the winds, except that they ended up being entirely played and replaced by real musicians instead. This is the piccolo part, which was recorded by my good friend 8-Beat Brigadier, who's played on many of my other medleys and pieces. As you can see, he can play a lot more instruments than just flute. And this is the oboe/English horn part, which was brilliantly recorded by Medley. I'm a huge fan of her playing in her arrangements. You should really check them out. Great stuff. These are the flute runs from the Summoning to Destroy Clayrock Hue, which Gamer of the Winds wonderfully played. Really strong flute playing. I'm really glad to have him on this. I wanted to have a solo viola since I love its warm sound, and it was recorded by Chris AMATERASU. who also plays the violin and the cello, so he's a one-man string quartet. Brilliant. I discovered Harpsona last year and I was like enchanted by her delightful harp playing. I'm so glad she was interested in recording this for me. And last but not least, a big shout out to Anthony for bringing those bass lines to life. You might remember him from the early days of Tetramino. He played on my FF7 Word Crisis cover and he did a tremendous job at it. So I thought it'd be awesome if he played on this one too. Like I said in a previous video, I always encourage him to come up with new stuff and not just strictly play the MIDI part. And this is the kind of stuff he adds. How cool was that?